Good morning. Today is May the 29th, and I'm going to do a May garden tour. I'm gardening in Pennsylvania Zone 7B. Okay, so we've just had a lot of rain. I'm going to start on this side. So this season, I gave my raspberry section a huge pruning to keep it under control. I only want to maintain approximately 4 plants at a time, and I chopped them down so that it could be more manageable. This whole area was raspberries, and it was just getting overwhelming. So I chopped it down, and here's the results. They're slow growing because for weeks we've been having rain and cloudy days, so not a lot of sun. But as soon as we start getting consistent sun, everything in this garden will be bursting. Right here I have lemongrass. So lemongrass, I started that from a grocery store lemongrass, and I bought one plant. Again, it's not doing much because it hasn't been really warm here. So once it gets warm, it'll take off and be a big bush. This year I tried again with adding blueberries, and so far they're doing really good. What I did differently was, blueberries have to be grown in acidic soil. So what I did differently this year is I planted them in only a little bit of compost, pine bark, and peat moss, and that's a really good acidic blend for blueberries. So hopefully next year we'll start seeing some fruit, but this year I think they're just gonna focus on foliage and roots, and that's not a problem. Back there I planted, like right here and right here, I planted Mexican sunflowers. They haven't taken off either. And right here is supposed to be sweet potato slips, but they are not doing good at all. I don't know if they're gonna make it. I don't know what's up with them. This is my first time doing sweet potatoes, but they're really yellow. I did fertilize them. Sorry, I live in the city. Hear all that noise in the background. There's nothing I can do about that, but I fertilized them once with a fish fertilizer, and they're still like this. I'm guessing it may be cat pee that is holding them back. Like sometimes cats like to come in here and pee in this area, but I don't know. So we'll keep an eye on that. If they don't grow, I'll just pull them out and try again next year. Put a layer of compost here, and plant something else. Up at the front, I have some broccolini plants and some marigolds. I also put some basil in there as well. And to put some basil in there as well. So yeah, that's it for there. Right here are my chive plants. This one is garlic chives, and this one is just regular chives. This is the first time I'm actually having any success with chives, so I'm happy about that. I love to shop the clearance section at Lowe's, and I got 3 plants here. I have 3 plants here from Lowe's in the clearance section. I have 2 coreopsis and 1 delphinium. That's my first time growing or adding either of these 3 perennials to my garden. And in the back right there, I have another Mexican sunflower. There's another broccolini plant. Here's a dill plant. I did not start that from seed. I bought that. It was kind of late getting dill seed started. And over here, there's two, over here, right here, there's two shishito peppers and a marigold in between, and in the front are pineapple ground cherries. It's either pineapple ground cherries or Aunt Molly's ground cherries. One is bigger than the other, but I think it's one of the two. But they're both ground cherries in the front, and they should get big and spread out. So I only did two, and two is literally all that you need. It's just pots and stuff, empty pots. But I also have a citronella plant here. I only bought one, and I'm going to take cuttings from that. Hopefully I get to film that too. I'm going to take cuttings and overwinter this. So that's just, sorry, laundry. But over here is my little container garden. I'm constantly adding to this. I want to make changes this year as the season go on, but this is my little container garden. I have mostly spring, of course, spring blooming flowers in here. They're starting to die off. So starting down here, I have lemon balm that needs to be chopped down. I have a pot of alyssum and pansies. They don't look too good. I'm going to eventually move them out of this pot and put them in one area to reseed every year. But yeah, they did really well this year. This was a lily. This is a lily, one Easter lily. These can spread on their own, so I planted it up in a pot, and inshallah we'll see if they'll come back next year. Over here in this area are my little pots, my miniature roses, and my one zinnia that made it. I started zinnias from seeds indoor, and literally only one seed made it, so I said, I guess I'm gonna just grow it in one pot and see what we get out of it. I bought these miniature roses from Whole Foods, believe it or not. I think they were like $5.99, $6.99, and I bought two plants. But what people don't know is that when you buy miniature roses, they usually come with 3, 4, even sometimes 5 plants. So it ended up with me having 9 miniature roses. I want to start a miniature rose section in this container area. So I'm babying these roses. They already bloomed, but if you see here, they're actually starting to bloom again. Yep, they're coming back and they're starting to bloom again. So I'm happy about that. And the end of the season, I'm going to plant them up into 5-gallon pots in this area. And hopefully, I'm going to cover them up also, wash them real good. And hopefully they'll survive next season to start my miniature rose section of the container garden. Here are some Sweet William dianthus. The rain got them pretty bad, but they did good this year. I'm going to give them a good chopping back, and you know, they should be back better next year. Down here are some pansies and some petunias. The petunias are not blooming right now. I deadheaded them all, so when a few weeks they should be back. Like here is some herbs, and some pansies. So there's a chamomile plant in there, sage, and pansies. I also started some zinnias and cosmos in here for summer. Back here are my I was gonna say sweet peas. Back here are my snow peas. They're loaded. I'm actually gonna do a harvest after this video. The variety is Burberry Snowbird, and I will be growing this variety again next year. I'm loving just how loaded this plant is just for this one container. And I also planted some zinnias here. And when this is done, I'll replace it with teddy bear sunflowers. Back here are some Shasta daisies. There's some in there you can't really see that I started from seed, and I bought some pansies to fill in the gap. Again, soon I'm gonna remove those pansies and plant summer flowers in there. So down here, planted some cosmos, and here's some dianthus again that got really hit by the rain, the weeks of rain, but you know, they still bloomed. I divided these. I bought one plant and I divided it into 4 other plants. Yeah, they're doing well. I just have to chop them down and they'll come back stronger. Back here is some mint that I started from grocery store. I didn't start any of my herbs from seed this year, except for the basil and the parsley. But here's some mint. There's another sweet William dianthus in white, and here's another dianthus that I divided into 4 plants by getting 1 plant. Got that also in white. So I have 2 types of dianthus in here to show a little variety. This is also dianthus and pansies. Right here is calla lily. I bought this from Aldi. A lot of my plants from here are actually from Aldi's. I recommend always, you know, being patient in the spring now, because Aldi does have some good selections and is a better value. So I got this calla lily for Mother's Day, and if you didn't know, calla lily and the higher zones are a perennial, but you can dig this calla lily up at the end of the season, dig the bulbs up, and replant them next year. So that's what I'm going to do. And here is the hellebore that I'm trying to baby back to life, but it's just slow growing because it's not warm. But I'm not giving up on it. I love hellebores, and I just want to see if it's alive before I purchase another one. And here's some oregano. Up here is my one hanging basket. That's all I'm doing for this year. I have sage in here, some geraniums that I started from seed that are really starting to, you know, come back. They weren't doing too well. And I started some nasturtiums, some peach melba nasturtiums. And I bought one Nemesia plant, which I'm gonna take cuttings from to multiply it instead of buying multiple Nemesia plants. Up here is, you know, the grape vine going crazy. It's filling out the canopy. It's filling out the canopy really good. Some goat hairs up because there's a laundry line there, but we're not about aesthetics here, we're just about showing the garden. Okay. And there's a ton of grapes on here. Pretty soon we're gonna have to be covering these with bags so the birds don't get them. Okay, and here are some strawberry plants that I started from strawberries that rooted at the front. I removed the strawberry area and I just picked up the strawberries that were left in the ground. My plan for these is to put them in one of those stackable planters, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. In here, these again are from Aldi's. Oh, one of them is from, that one's from those. These are some heucheras. And another perennial. It was a good value from Aldi's. This one's from Aldi's. It's really good value. Nice looking healthy plant. And right here is what I'm trying for the first time that, you know, nobody recommends, is Lily of the Valley. I put it in the ground. I know Lily of the Valley can get invasive, but I don't mind it. I love the smell of it. And I'm okay if it spreads in this area. And also down here, not much to see, but I planted some hostas. If they don't come up, I'm just gonna buy 2 hostas to replace it. And here are bearded irises and lilies. The lilies haven't shown up yet, but the bearded irises already, see, they already bloomed. So on this table, these are things that I have not planted yet. I'm taking it really slow this year. I'm not in a rush to get everything planted at once, because I really want to figure out where I want to put things. I really want to have something to do in the garden every day. So I'm not rushing to get everything planted all at once. So from the front, we have a geranium that I bought off clearance. 2 of these geraniums I bought off clearance at Lowe's. Yeah, 2 of these geraniums I bought off clearance at Lowe's, and one of them I bought from Whole Foods. It was a white geranium. I don't have any white geraniums out here, so I thought it was a good deal. $4 for a plant. To add a white geranium in my garden. You know, geraniums can be overwintered, which is what I'm going to do, and you can also take cuttings of them. So once you buy a geranium once, you really don't have to buy it again. Here's a backup Mexican sunflower, just in case the ones over there don't make it. Here's the teddy bear sunflowers that I started from seed. That's going to replace the snow peas. Yeah, I don't like what they're doing in the middle. It looks like they're starting to flower, but it should be okay. I bought 1 vinca plant, only 1, because you can propagate vinca very readily, very easy. So I just bought 1. I'm just gonna propagate it. Vinca goes really fiercely, and it gets a good size, enough to make enough, take enough cuttings and propagate it. So here's 2 more shishito peppers that I have not put in the ground yet. I started some more nasturtiums to plant. There's another clearance geranium from Lowe's. I think I got this for $1. Yeah, I think I got this for $1. I wanted this one because it's like the foliage is like nothing that I have. So I'm gonna overroot to this as well. I just gotta find a place to plant it for the season. Right here are my tuberous begonias. Birds fighting in the background. So the birds, they're fighting. But yeah, right here are my tuberous begonias. This is my first time doing tuberous begonias. I'm glad to see some green actually. Thought they were dead. They were just slow growing, but from what I read, once they start taking off, they grow fast. Back here is an annual wax begonia. Got that from Whole Foods also for $4. And back here is a cutting from another miniature rose that I wanted to propagate. It's my first time taking cuttings from roses, so it's going to be an experiment whether it survives or not. But I want to keep trying because I do like this rose bush, and I want to add 2 more to the garden without having to buy it. Last but not least, this is another clearance plant from Lowe's, Woodland Phlox. It's a nice purple flower. I divided it to, I think it came in like a 2-quart, if I'm correct, but it was like a more medium-sized planter. I divided it to 4 sections, and I still don't have a place to plant it yet. Still have a place to plant it yet, but we'll get there. Okay, here's another lily, not ready to bloom yet. The hostas have started, some in the back. They're starting to come back, and the ones here in the front. That's looking good. Here's a bigger hosta. And under these basket are elephant ears. I have to cover them up so squirrels and raccoons don't get them. I also got those at Aldi's. I bought them for my mom at Aldi's, which was another good steal. These are the really large ones. So I believe they were like $7.99 or something like that. $5.99 or something like that. But it was a good value and a good deal. What else is in here from Aldi's also are canna lilies. So there are yellow ones and orange ones, and they're very much starting to come up. So here's one, there's 3 more starting back there. So that's good. On this side of the garden, here's where grape starts. Let's see. Elderberry. I gave this elderberry a really hard pruning here in March, and look at it. There's berries starting at the top. But yeah, this elderberry just overwhelms me with how vigorous it is. Like, I don't even feed it. I don't even feed it often, but it's still vigorous. And there's a lot of side shoots coming out in the back at the bottom. See how far out it comes? It's pretty overwhelming. And here is Japanese maple that really could use some compost. Trying to make it as vigorous as it was in previous years, but it's doing good. Japanese maple. Okay, so down here is one geranium that I just had to have. It's like a corally peachy color. I wanted to add it to my collection, so I did pay full price for that, and I bought it at Lowe's. This was it might have been full price. It might have been. I'm thinking full price with how big it is, but I also got that from Lowe's. I bought 2 from Lowe's. I don't really like pink flowers, so I'm surprised I even got this, but they're all right. There's little dinosaur art for the garden, and in here is I planted with some red Russian kale and some petunias. See the red Russian kale a little better back there. I planted some peppers down here. These are mostly hot peppers, and some tomatoes. They're already in their cages, but it's not much to see right now, of course, because it hasn't been that warm and it's rained a lot. So still some pepper back there. And in this container is a clematis that I got from Aldi, once again, that I need to stake up. Right here is eggplant. It's not doing very well, but we'll see what happens. And here is my sister's peach tree. It has peaches on it, but there's clearly something going on with it. Like, we're gonna keep an eye on it, but like, it doesn't look as vigorous as it looked when it started this season, and it looks like it's been consistently dropping peaches. I don't know if it's because of the raccoon that comes in here at night has been climbing it. I don't know if it's squirrels, but it doesn't look as vigorous. It looks like it's being weighed down or something, but we'll keep an eye on it. Down here is marigolds that are on their way to bloom, and some more pepper plants down here. More pepper plants. and more tomato plants. It's not really much to see in the area of the tomato and peppers again. But here is the dahlias. I got these from Aldi's for $5.99, I believe, or $5.49, and they are already budding up. Already. I pinched these dahlias, by the way. All of them are already budding up. Can't really get back there, but they all have buds. I pinched them all. I don't know what these are gonna look like. This is the first year I've gotten this far with dahlias in pots. I actually came prepared this year. I staked them up and everything. So the first year, really being attentive to dahlias. Okay, so down here there's my parsley patch, which is not looking good, but it'll spring back. And here is ranunculus, which I don't know if they're gonna bloom or not. But we'll see. Keep an eye on. If they don't bloom, I could just dig them up and try again next year with the same forms. Right here is a pomegranate. Pomegranate tree. It's alive, but again, it's like getting drowned by that rain. So keep an eye on it, and hopefully it survives. Down here is some chamomile that has started from seed. And here are some sunflowers, mammoth sunflowers that are doing really good. Here is my yellow rose tree. No blooms on it because I have to prune the ones that are already spent off of it, but it should bloom again soon after I do that. Come around. And here's my peach tree. It's doing okay. Again, this is the first year for me actually having peaches, so I don't know what to think. I am going to cover them up soon so squirrels don't get them. But yeah, it's doing good. Almost did not let these peaches grow because of how this tree is shaped. If you can see, it has two main branches. But I said I want to see how it goes before I decide to do anything rash, like cut it and wait for it to grow back to shape it a certain way. There's some peppers, some more eggplants. Everything here just needs warmth. There's a rose bush that I'm trying to nurse back to life back there, and there's some lavender. Close. There's some Spanish lavender and some heirloom. Think of the word. Heirloom chrysanthemums. Yes, I planted for the first time. So heirloom chrysanthemums. Back here on this side, some basil, some chamomile. Here's a volunteer. Let's see. Focus. It's a volunteer tomato plant that I'm keeping isolated so no one steps on it. There's some tomato plant, beefsteak tomato plants started from seed. They're starting to get some growth. Here's some more basil, some okra, some more mammoth sunflowers. Here's some, I believe these are banana peppers, and in the back it's, trying to focus. In the back it's some cucumbers. Okay, back here it looks a mess, but not much I can do right now since it's the season started. But I pruned a fig tree that I bought that was just not doing anything, and then it just came back even more vigorous. And in the front, there's 2 tomatoes. Okay. Over here, some more peppers. And in here, I need to weed this bed again. But in here, if you look close, it's some kale. Lots of kale. There's of the lavender. The rose bush. I need to get back there to get the leaves again. This last area, there's not much to see, but there is okra, cucumbers, and tomatoes in here. And there's a full area that needs something else to be planted here. I don't know what's going to be planted here. But yeah, okra is not doing so well. It is wet weather, but it'll come back. This wet, cool weather. Here's another volunteer tomato. I interplanted some basil. And in front of all of these sticks, they're small now, but there's tomatoes. And in the back, there's some cucumbers. Okay. Some weeds that I have to get again in the back. In this old tub, there's nothing yet, but hopefully we're not too late and we can start some sugar baby watermelons. We'll plant something else. Yeah, let me back up to see. So yeah, that's another space that we planted. Okay. So let's see.